Device isolation comes in a couple of flavors with Sophos Intercept X Advanced with EDR. The first is admin-led isolation. If you have the EDR license, as an administrator, you have the ability to tell a device to break its network connections and refuse connections from external devices. This is an admin-initiated event, and once added to the isolation list, the device can still communicate with Sophos Central and Labs, so you can do file submission and investigation from Sophos Central. It will also be able to communicate with critical system infrastructure. So if the end user panics and reboots the device, it can still receive an IP address, come back online, and allow the administrator to continue their investigation and remove it from the isolation list. In addition, with Sophos Intercept Advanced and the EDR license, a device can be allowed to go into an automatic self-isolation state. This is a policy option that, when set, allows the device to break network connections when it sees it's under attack. When it completes a remediation, removing malware, completing a scan, and determines that it is now in a healthy state, it'll automatically restore those network connection abilities. Auto-isolation can be turned on or off at a policy level, so this can be applied to one group of users but not another. In addition, we have a device isolation technique that's available only with the XG firewall as part of synchronized security. This allows the firewall to identify that an endpoint is in a compromised health state. Perhaps the endpoint has had Sophos antivirus terminated, or it's otherwise under attack. The firewall will notify other devices with Sophos Intercept X deployed on them, and those devices will now refuse connections from the compromised device. This type of device shunning allows the endpoints to be protected from rogue devices inside the network, both inside a subnet and for other devices that have Sophos Intercept X deployed. I want to show each of those options and when they should be used. So from inside a threat case, here we're looking at a ransomware generation attack where it appears that there are multiple components involved. We can see that ransomware was detected and blocked, but the PowerShell that launched the attack for ransomware also delivered additional executables. Because have not completed the investigation, one of the suggested next steps is to isolate the computer. And we can take some notes about why we're investigating. So with this completed, the device is now going to break network connections. That request has been sent. The end user would see a notification saying that the device has been isolated by their administrator, and their ability to surf the internet or reach out to other components inside the network has now been terminated. In addition to this capability, there's a basic threat protection capability that allows a device to do this in an automated way when it detects that it's under attack. So in the Sophos threat protection policy, you have an option to allow this type of auto-isolation. When this is enabled, if the endpoint detects malware that requires a deeper forensic scan or requires the endpoint to terminate and clean up that malware, while it's performing those activities, the endpoint will break its network connections. And once those activities have completed and the malware has been removed from the device and it's back in a healthy state, it'll automatically enable network connections to come back. Lastly, we have a capability that requires the Sophos XG firewall. And this allows the devices to actually refuse connections from other devices that the firewall has determined are unhealthy. So if the firewall detects that a device with Sophos Intercept X Advanced deployed on it is no longer running the Sophos protection capability, it will generate the device as a red security health risk and notify other devices in the subnet that that device should be shunned. No connections will be allowed, and active connections will be terminated. If you had critical infrastructure that you needed this device to still be able to talk to, you can put those devices into an exclusion list, and then devices will refuse to shun these devices. Thank you.